In this puzzle, white has a king in d1 and a rook in e1. Black has a king in d6 and two pawns, one in f3 and one in g3. There's two moves that can come to mind. One could be f1 and the other one e8. They're both wrong. Let's see why. Rook to f1 is wrong because two pawns on their own on the 6th rank, or in this case the 3rd rank because they're the two black pawns. Two pawns can win on their own, right? So g2 attacks the rook. You have nowhere to go now except g1 maybe, and then f2, and the rook is lost because let's say rook takes pawn in g2 and then f1 with promotion. The queen takes the rook. If you move the rook again anywhere, you just get taken, so that doesn't work. The other move could be rook to e8, and this also doesn't work because with just the tempo too slow. After g2 and now rook to g8, attacking the pawn in g2, then the other pawn comes to f2, but now king e2 seems to be the only move, but f1 comes with promotion and the pawn is defending the pawn in f1, so the game is lost, which leaves us with the solution that starts with king d2. Now, why is this? King d2 is the right move because it will allow the king to go and attack the pawns as well, and prepares the rook to go d1 and give a discover check. The discover check will be important in this situation. So black plays now f2, attacking the rook, and white plays d1, preparing the discover check, which will give us an extra tempo. Right now, black cannot promote his pawn right now because the rook will take it, so he has to push the other pawn. Now king e2 comes with check. Black will have to move his king, whatever, and then we're free to capture the pawn and also capture the other pawn. Let's see what happens if the pawn pushes to g2. Now let's say pawn goes to g2, rook d1. There's no difference at all. The pawn in g cannot become a queen yet because it's because the g1 square is protected by the rook, and now black is forced to push his f2 pawn, which gives no difference from the previous situation. After the discover check, white is able to capture both pawns. Now this example is just very similar to the previous one, except the fact that the king is in d5 rather than d6, so the king is closer to his own pawns. And now this cannot be won. It has to be a draw. We have to fight for drawing, and the way to do that is with rook to f1. Now king d2 doesn't work because of king d4. So now if we go with the usual strategy, in this case this doesn't work since the black king is guarding the 3rd rank. So rook d1, and then after g2, king e1 giving a discover check, in this case doesn't help, after king e3. So now there is no way to continue with and prevent black from promoting his pawn into a queen. So the solution is rook f1, and how to go on now. Now black plays g2 to attack the rook, and white has to play king e1, only move to get a draw. Right, now black can choose to take the pawn and get the queen. King can just take, and now we have the opposition, the usual situation where it's impossible for the black player to promote because the king is in front of the pawn. Now all we need to do is just go back to f1 and then do the opposition wherever the king goes. If the king goes to e3, we play e1, and then f1 check, king f1, f2 check, king f1, and now this is a draw. If the king had gone to g3, then we play g1, and that is the same situation, and it's still a draw. In this example, white has a rook in d5 and a king in c4. Black has a king in a2 and two pawns, one in g3 and one in h3. Now, the first move that might come to mind is something like rook h5 to quickly go and attack the pawns, or maybe rook to d3. Now, rook to d3 loses after pawn to g2. You can't go and grab the h3 pawn because of the promotion. And rook to h5 also loses to h2, and you can't go to g5 to attack the other pawn because of the promotion. And if you play a king move, then black pushes his pawn and there's nothing stopping him from going down. Another move that might come to mind is maybe a king move, but it still doesn't work because of, for example, g2. And now there's no way to stop h2 coming, and maybe f2 gives a promotion of the h pawn, or rook to h5 gives a promotion of the g pawn. If rook to g5, the h pawn is promoting. So the solution will be a different one. The solution is rook to d2 check. Now it's check, so black has to respond with king b1, and then white plays king to c3. Now black pawn could go to h2, trying to promote in h1, which gives white the possibility to play another check. And now after king back to a2, rook h1. In this situation, the king is being forced on the second rank, meaning that if black pushes his pawn, then rook can capture the h2 pawn, pinning the g pawn and then winning it. And if black moves up, rook a1 is checkmate. If black pushes the f pawn, the g pawn rather than the h pawn, then rook d1 gives the same result. King is forced. So in this situation, the goal is to force the king to the rank where we can pin the pawn. Rook g1 here, and now if black plays king up, then we've got rook a1 checkmate. If the pawn pushes down, then we've got rook up coming with check and winning the pawn, and then the other pawn